All eyes are on Hurricane Sandy. The storm has hit Cuba and now it's headed for the Bahamas.
And today there is real concern that Sandy might make landfall somewhere along the East Coast and bring a major mess with it. Good afternoon. I'm Brian Taff.
And I'm Shirley Nowlicott. The big story on Action News is the latest track on Hurricane Sandy.
That's right. We've got team coverage, of course, for you. Nora Mushanek is live at the Jersey Shore today.
And the AccuWeather team of Cecily Tynan and Adam Joseph are watching the storm. Let's start off with Adam at the Action News Big Four Vision. Adam?
And the blurry vision with Sandy over the last few days is getting a little more clear now, and elements in the atmosphere that shouldn't all come together at the perfect time look like that could happen, which would make Sandy a large storm once it heads up the eastern seaboard. Storm Tracker 6 Live 3D right now will show Hurricane Sandy is a Category 2. Winds right now are at 105 miles an hour. The center of Sandy is now entering the southern Bahamas. You can see that flare up of some of the purple on the satellite imagery of where the intense thunderstorms are. There was an eye earlier today, but that eye has filled back in as it passed over Cuba, meaning Sandy is trying to weaken a little, but it's still a very dangerous storm. As we take a look at Florida, it is now being scraped and starting to feel the northwestern fringes of Sandy, with some of the rain bands now moving into Miami, the Keys, and as far west and north as Orlando. We'll take a look at some of the data right now with the wind gusts around these bands, and we're looking at about 32 miles an hour at the beginning of the Keys, gusting to 36 as we head up the eastern shoreline of Florida. Winds sustained right now 21 miles an hour, gusting to 33 right around Miami, and a little farther north the winds pretty much the same in that 20 to 30 mile an hour range at the present time. What's going to happen here is a complicated forecast, but we're going to try to make it easy on you. Here is the energy with Sandy off of Florida Saturday afternoon, and then we have a trough that's coming in from the Midwest. This is about 15,000 feet in the atmosphere, and these are pieces of energy. As Sandy starts to pull up the eastern seaboard, it will be a separate entity, and then you have this very juicy, let's just say, bulk of energy in the atmosphere. The two of them are going to collide sometime on Monday into Tuesday, and that is going to pull Sandy back in to the coastline and make it a rare event for the Northeast. Speaking of that, we're going to go to meteorologist Cecily Tynan. Because of this rare energy wrapping into Sandy, you have much more in that spaghetti plot.
That's right, and I've been showing the spaghetti plot since Monday. These are the computer models. What you really look for is a consensus, an agreement, when you see the plots very close together. And you can see the trend, that we're really seeing the trend bringing that storm system to the west into the coastline, and this is a pretty unusual track for a system like this to take, and there's still a little bit of up in the air as far as exactly where it's going to hit. But when we see this agreement for the computer models, this is when you really have to be prepared for the possibility of a large and dangerous storms. Now, where it actually makes landfall is very important, and again, we're 4 or 5 days out, so this will be changing a little bit, but we're looking at a very large storm, especially if it becomes a hybrid storm. That means the rain, the wind field will be very broad. So we're looking at 5 to 10 inches of rain. The gusty winds, not just right at the center, which would be a tropical storm, but about 300 miles out from the center. And then what's very important, the northeast quadrant of the storm will be encountering a major storm surge with flooding. We'll talk about the track of the storm system, the timing, and the potential impacts in our neck of the woods coming up in the full AccuWeather forecast. Brian?
All right, Cecily, lots to talk about. Thank you. They are already taking precautions at the shore today. New Jersey correspondent Nora Mushanek live now in Ocean City. And Nora, what are you seeing there?
Hi there, Brian. How you doing? We're here at 55th and the beach, and if you look behind me off in the distance there, you can see that there's an entire line of sand that's been dumped here today to help build up the barrier in the most vulnerable sections of the shoreline. It may be days before Sandy gets here, but officials in Ocean City say if and when she does arrive, they want to be ready. Front-end loaders were busy all day long on the beach near 55th Street in Ocean City, scooping up sand from the water's edge and dumping it in piles, creating a barrier in front of the more established dunes.
The wave action might get to the dunes and come across the, or get through the dunes and come across into the bulkhead and into the city streets, and we're trying to prevent that as much as possible.
Oh, for sure important they prep ahead of time, because if this comes in like they might predict that it will, and the hybrids are supposed to be worse, it'll be bad, and this is such a small beach now anyway.
At the All Seasons Marina on the Ocean City border, this pontoon boat was one of over a dozen vessels being hauled out of the water today. The owner says he expects the next few days to be extremely hectic as Hurricane Sandy gets closer.
We're just going to be in a full sprint, pulling boats. Matter of fact, I've got guys staying late. We're going to be here into the evening, getting some additional boats out because we've got low tide in the middle of the day today, so that's not ideal.
Ocean City officials say they're keeping a close watch on the track of the storm and reminding people that it's important to make sure patio furniture and other items are pulled inside.
We don't want anything to become a projectile. Should it get to that point, you know, we don't know at this point if it will develop, but we certainly want people to be aware that if they have to come down and secure some things, we want them to do that.
Back live now. If you look around, there are lots of homes here that still have chairs, umbrellas, and grills out. That stuff all needs to be taken care of before Sandy comes a call. And so, word to the wise, you might have to be making a trip down to the shore in the next couple of days. I'll be back with more at 5. For now, we're live in Ocean City. I'm Nora Mushanek, Channel 6 Action News.
All right, Nora, thank you. And to Delaware now, where the storm could cause problems along their shores. The action cam was out in Rehoboth Beach today. The city tells us that workers are removing trash cans and other items from the beach ahead of the storm. They do have some advice for residents.
So we're encouraging everyone to bring all lightweight objects in. They're predicting the storm to be in our area this Sunday, sometime Sunday. So right now we're taking all lightweight objects off the beach.
Meantime, residents say they are keeping a very watchful eye on the storm.
If it looks like it's going to come this way, we'll probably evacuate, go up north.
Rehoboth is hosting a Sea Witch Festival that begins tomorrow. And once that is over, the city plans to remove more benches and trash cans from the boardwalk. Alicia at the big board now.
All right, Charlene, and just to put this storm into perspective for you, taking a look at the map and where Sandy is heading right here. This is where she started here in Jamaica, pushing up to the Bahamas here. And just to paint a picture of some of the damage that we're looking at in Cuba there, down trees and power lines, trees just toppled completely, roofs ripped off. Folks in Guantanamo Bay are assessing that damage today after Hurricane Sandy hit the island's eastern side last night. Cuban television is reporting that some 3,000 homes are damaged or destroyed there. And of course, we do know that this storm has been deadly. Taking a look at South Florida now, where Sandy is stirring things up there and the storm gaining strength and speed as it crosses the Caribbean. Floridians, we're told, shouldn't expect too much damage from the storm, just some rainy, windy weather. And that's some of what you can see in these pictures from Miami today. And finally, how's this for a shot? The storm, as we know, has been deadly. And just to give you some perspective of the size and just the mass area of Sandy, the International Space Station has provided this picture, and NASA putting that out today. So certainly puts things into perspective for you as we continue to track Sandy. Brian.
All right, Alicia, and of course we have much more to come on Hurricane Sandy this afternoon. Coming up at 4:30 today, Sarah Bloomquist is live at PECO's Storm Center with how that utility is already preparing for the storm and the potential power outages that it could cause. And you can track Sandy right around the clock just by going to 6at4.com or one of our apps. Click on Hurricane Tracker to see the current location of the storm, wind speeds, and so much more. And while you're on 6at4.com or 6abc.com, be sure to sign up for school closing alerts. Ahead of the impending storm, we'll send you a text message if your school is closed or delayed. Plus, you can check our websites for that information anytime, day or night.